Hello, everyone. My name is Beverly Knox Davis, and thank you so much for joining us today for the A Brighter Day Outreach podcast, where we have such an amazing guest today. Oh, we are growing over here with A Brighter Day. So please lock in with us on all platforms so that you can keep up with everything that is going on right here. But today we have the pleasure of having Miss Veronica Alexander, who is our new food pantry manager right here at the A Brighter Day Community Hub and Food Pantry. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited about this ad, you all, because running a food pantry, I had no idea whatsoever that what it took to run a food pantry. But we were blessed last year to be able to get the food pantry built by the Lowe's Hometown Grant. And it has just been quite the journey ever since. But this one right here just took it to a whole nother level. So we're gonna back up just a little bit and get to know Miss Veronica. That's what we call her around here, and just learn a little bit about her so that everybody that comes to our food pantry will feel just like they know Miss Veronica. So tell us, about your childhood and, things that may have been embedded in you from mom and dad and your siblings along the way that got you to right here where you are.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Yes.
A little bit about Veronica Alexander. I come from a large family, a family of 10, 8 girls and 2 boys. And I remember from being little, actually, we grew up in the projects. We had government assistance. I remember us getting the monthly food boxes in. Our household also was on food stamps at that particular time. And a lot of people may not know that now they have the cards that they can take in the store. But when we were young, we had what we call the food stamp books. And then you didn't get money back for change. You got plastic little pieces that represented each monetary denomination. So I know what it is to need assistance. I know what it is to be hungry. And so I watched my mother, I watched my father when we were little, I watched my grandparents. They always took care of someone. If someone was in need, they would always provide some type of service throughout the community. And growing up, I didn't realize how much of an impact that had on me. And the way that I actually came into service in operating a food pantry was that when Hurricane Katrina hit, and the ministry that I was a part of at that particular time, we had a meeting about how to come together to help those that had been relocated to our area. At that time, we had started a CDC, a community development program. And so I was looking for a way to get involved in the ministry. And when that opportunity came about, I went in as a helper. What do y'all need me to do? How can I assist? And unbeknownst to me, my assistants came into directing that particular outreach in the church. And it was, thankful to God because otherwise I had no experience, didn't know exactly what to do, but had a passion and a heart to do it. And so at that point, I just began to learn and it began to grow. And I began to learn and it began to grow. And it's something that I did for 5 years.
Wow.
We partnered with Second Harvest Food Bank
Okay.
and we became one of their, I would say, I don't know if they would want me to say this, but we were one of their favorites when they got things in. They would always call
That
us
is great.
to come. And in serving in this capacity, I always want to be sure that people keep their dignity,
Yes.
that they are always respected, and that you never feel bad for needing help. and
Yes.
needing assistance. And that was one of the feedbacks that we constantly got, is that you never treated us, man, when we come over here, you guys never looked down on us. You never treated us as if we were, not important, that we were somehow outcast because we needed help. And that was one thing, because growing up and as well as an adult, myself needing assistance, and I always just wanted people to feel like, don't feel bad for coming to get
That's right.
help.
Mm-hmm.
Don't feel bad. Don't feel demoralized. Don't feel dehumanized. Do not feel disrespected. And I've seen places that did those things. And I said, if I ever had the opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
not on my watch.
I know that's right.
So,
And I think that's how we connected, because I
yeah,
saw that it just spiritually. And I was like, she gets it. She understands and she knows, and you know exactly how to. It's like that tough love. She has all of that, because it can be special around here at
yeah,
times. But she has all of those wonderful qualities where, somebody can just let you know what the deal is without saying one bad word or anything. Mama's facial expression. Miss Veronica has that all down pat. But it has been a wonderful, wonderful journey. Just in just a few
thank you.
weeks, she's
Thank
been
you.
with us, and I'm excited about some of the changes that I've seen. So tell us about some of the things that you learned along the way that helps a food pantry to run smoothly, because you've made quite a few adjustments here that, wow, I'm so impressed.
I think that can be summed up with one word, and that is order.
Mm-hmm.
When you have order, things run in a manner that is efficient, that is effective, and I just cannot operate in chaos. One of the things that I learned when I first got into the service community was that I remember the first day I was in there by myself, and I was so scared, and I was like, oh God, I don't know how to do this. Y'all gonna trust me to be here? And they were like, absolutely. So I remember the first day being there. We had the clothes and food all at the same time. So I'm thinking, like, you know what? People know better than I do what they need. So I'm going to let them come in and just shop and get what they want. And at the end of that first day, I
Wow.
remember falling on the chair and just putting my head back. And my arms flailed off the chair. And I was like, God, what just happened? He said, you had chaos. And he said, without order, you will have chaos. And I was like, and he said, and that's what you just had.
Wow.
And I said, okay, well, show me how to establish order. And from that day forward, he walked me through, put this in place, put that in place, do this, do that. And I guarantee you, from that day, I started doing what I heard, and it ran like butter. It was seamless. Everybody didn't like it. They
Right.
wanted, can I get this?
Because
Can I
change is
do?
tough, right?
Yeah, it really is. It is. But one of the things that I try to get people to understand, that if you look around right now, everything you see is subject to change.
Yes.
Everything.
That's true.
There are buildings that were here when we grew up, because I am a native Charlottean, Queen City.
All right.
There are buildings that were there that are no longer. There are businesses that became a staple in the household name that are no longer here. So everything we see is subject to change, and we have to be willing to flow the way that the water is going. Because, and so if you are not able to do that, you end up on the rocks.
That's right. That's
You
so
end up
true.
on the rocks. And so I've kind of learned to kind of gauge and assess what's going on.
He does that really
And
well.
then and then get in the flow of it. Get in the flow of it. I remember a commercial growing up, and I think it was for shampoo that said, if you don't look good, we don't look good.
I love
And
it.
so, and
Yes.
that's one of the things that I always keep in the back of my mind, that if you don't look good, we don't look good. And so I try to posture myself to where we all always look good.
Well, and your people skills. I mean, we've had some challenging individuals around here. Miss Veronica has even done an escort off the property because if you are not going to be right and in order, you will not be affiliated with a Brighter Day Outreach. And it has just been refreshing because, as the leader for this amazing thing that God blessed and
Yes.
put before me and charged me to lead, it's tough when you have to stop the main line of everything that goes on to address somebody that has come here with some foolishness. I'm just going to
Yes.
go ahead and say it. And for me just to hear about it second hand nature, it was just refreshing. And to know that, things are being done right and in order in this food pantry. I love the order and even the people, the way you greet them. We've shifted this week because of the temperature here in Charlotte, and it was a little chilly. So we decided to try out just having it where they drive up. And the organization of each bag and how Miss Veronica has made sure that everybody, is loved on through the different items that are in the bags. But it's her smile and how she addresses everyone that pulls up, and they are happy when they pull away. There's just a wonderful feeling to be able to watch that and know that that's representative of our entire organization, and that's what you look for as a leader in finding other leaders that can do things and elevate your organization. So thank you for that.
Welcome.
So what's next for us? We did the whole drive through by all of that this week. So what are some other changes that everyone can look forward to with our food pantry here?
Okay. Well, one of the things right now, the families are able to come once a week. They just have to produce an ID. One of the changes that will be taking effect December the 1st will be that you will have to prove your household. And what I mean when I say that is that right now you can come in and tell us that we are a household of 5, we are a household of 6, and we take you at your word because we trust you. And so if you tell us that, then we're going to try to provide food that would accommodate a household of 6 people. Starting December the 1st, because we want to be good stewards of what God is doing through this particular branch of a Brighter Day Outreach. And so what we want to do is allow people to come, but if you tell us that you have a household of 6, you're going to have to prove that by way of a picture ID for anyone that is 18 and older. And anyone that falls under that age will have to produce a social security card or a birth certificate and even a report card. But you're going to have to prove to us that all those people exist as a part of your household. And that is just us being good stewards over what we have been allowed to oversee. Because if we're giving out the amount of food that we do to a household of 2, and then we do get a household of 6, then it depletes our inventory and it doesn't allow us to fairly disseminate food items to those that are in need. So that is one of the new changes that will be taking effect December the 1st.
Yes. And I'm excited about this because there have been some folks called out. Now, you may have 5 children, but they don't live with
With
you
you.
and they're 30, 32, 35 and live in their own house. Yes. So we have to be careful about how we ask those questions too.
Yes.
Like, how many children do you have? Well, someone would say, I have 5 children. Well, do they live with you? So we
Yeah.
have had to really adjust because we've been a little green in this whole process. But and there have been some folks to attempt to get over. But I
Yeah.
know we, as community leaders, we all talk about those special people. And then you have to adjust so that we can do just what Miss Veronica has stated here in ensuring that we have resource for everybody, that it's just the truth. You have 6 people in your household as opposed to 2. Hello, and thank you so very much for tuning in to part 1 of a 2-part series of the A Brighter Day podcast. We thank you so very much, and don't forget to tune in to part 2.